Hello, welcome back again to another episode of SCADA 123. In our previous episodes, you've learned all about acquiring data. You've learned other applications that store and transfer the data. Now we're going to talk a little bit about analyzing the data. One of the ways of analyzing data is using pivot tables. Now I've got a little example here to show you in a LibreCalc spreadsheet to give you an idea of just what a pivot table is, so when we go through the Python program it'll make a little more sense. Now on here you can basically see you've got your data in standard spreadsheet format with columns of date, seller, customer, transaction ID, and product price. Now, a pivot table gives you a way of summarizing and organizing the data to give you a simpler, easier summary of what's going on. Take, for example, your seller ID. You've got a whole bunch of different sellers here. If you tried to do a plot of the seller versus the price, you just get a bunch of garbage. That's where a pivot table comes in. Now, a pivot table will basically allow you to create based upon whatever columns you want to summarize with the one summarized data, say for product price, for example. So for here, we'll take a quick look at, say, the seller total sales. Now, what you saw before, it's now organized by each seller to give you the total that each person did, with a combined total for all of them. Now, you're wondering, well, what did you just do? How's that a pivot table? Well, to do the pivot table, you'll select anywhere on the previous data, click Data, Pivot Table, and you can insert it into a new sheet or whatever you want here. Now, to see what this looked like, all you got to do is right-click on it, go to your properties, and your properties are going to pull up what that actual pivot table was. Now you can see here, this is your seller ID with the sum of the product prices. To do that, you just take your seller ID here, click it, drag it over into the row fields, then you take your product price and drag it on over to the data fields. Click OK, and you're done. This is what you'll generate. That is a pivot table. Now to get back to what I was talking about, let's say you wanted to do that in Python. Well, here you go. Now you've got a Python program that I wrote. In the scroll bar you'll see a little description, kind of gives you the information of how it actually works. Now this is fairly simple and straightforward. It's designed to just kind of give you a quickie example, not to cover all of every possibility type thing. So for this one you'll see the pivot table columns are what you just saw in that. This is kind of fixed, so you're going to have to adapt the program if you want to use different data. Or you can just set it up for being usable for different data, but whatever you like. So for here, for example, just go to File, Open. You can click on the data there, and you'll see, okay, open the data. Now let's read the data, and you'll see a little list of the data here. If you're running it in a, say, like idle program, you'll see the print statements as well. So same thing, just let you see it all within the program here. This is a header that's Pandas. If you're familiar with Pandas, that's a very beautiful little application for doing a lot of data analysis we'll get into later. But for now, this just gives you a header so you can see a little bit of the data to get an idea that, yeah, you got what you wanted to get. Now, if you want to do a pivot table, you've got your pivots here of how do you want to break it down? Total product sales, seller total sales, daily, weekly, solar. So let's go back to our seller total sales. We'll click that. Now we click on pivot command, and we can just scroll down and you can see, okay, here's your sum, product, and your seller IDs, same thing, done in a program. Now, why do you want to do this? And say you want to just clear out, click the clear text, it'll clear that up. Pretty fast, straightforward. Why do you want to do this in a Python program when it's already set up for Excel? Well, there's a whole lot more you can do with it. In addition to doing plots, you can also manipulate back and forth to see what it looks like. And we can get through some of that later, but I just wanted to give you an example, and you can download this yourself. This is on a link right below the screen. Hope this helps out. Appreciate it. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.